Deferred tax liabilities are the amounts of income taxes payable in future, whereas deferred tax assets are the amounts of income taxes recoverable in future. Got confused? So was I when I first read this standard. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Raise Your Acumen. This is Harshal Patil. I am a chartered accountant and I am here to discuss the concept of deferred tax in a simplified manner. Before we begin, do subscribe to my channel to get short informative videos on various topics which will up your acumen. Now the concept of deferred tax revolves around the differences between the accounting books and tax books. Before we dive into the concept of deferred tax, let us understand these four terms. That is, carrying amount, tax base, accounting profit, and tax profit. Now, carrying amount is nothing but the balance of assets or liabilities as per accounting ledger. And tax base is nothing but the balance of asset or liability as per accounting ledger after tax effects. Now, accounting profit is the profit before deducting tax expense. And taxation profit is the profit determined as per the tax rules. Now, income tax is computed on such taxation profits. Now that we have understood these four terms, we can go ahead and discuss the need for deferred taxation. In most cases, there is a difference between accounting profit and tax profit. This is because we prepared two books, one as per accounting norms and other as per tax norms. Ind AS 12 or IAS 12 creates a link between these differences and provides a guidance for accounting for current as well as future tax consequences. These are the two methods from which we can view the differences. Under balance sheet method, we compare the carrying amount and tax base. And under profit and loss method, we compare the accounting profit and the taxation profit. Although the results of the two methods are same, the standard prefers the balance sheet approach. Let me give you a few examples which will clarify the thought process behind these concepts. The first illustration is on depreciation. Let's say a company buys an asset costing 1 lakh rupees. Now we will compare the depreciation as per accounting norms, say Companies Act 2013, and as per tax norms, say Income Tax Act 1961. Now let's assume that the depreciation as per accounting norms is 20,000 rupees and as per tax norms is 30,000 rupees. Carrying amount would be, that is the cost minus depreciation, would be 80,000 rupees. And the accounting profit would decrease by 20,000 rupees. Similarly, the tax base would be 70,000 and the tax profit would decline by 30,000 rupees. As you can see, there is a difference between the carrying amount and its tax base, and also there is a difference between the accounting profit and the tax profit. Let's take another example on development cost. Say a company has incurred a development cost of rupees 1 lakh. Now we'll see the treatment of this development cost under accounting norms and under tax norms. Now accounting norms are saying to amortize this expense over a period of 5 years, and the tax norms are saying to expense it out entirely in this period. Now due to this, the carrying amount would be 80,000 and then accounting profit would decline by 20,000 rupees. Similarly, the tax base would be nil as we have expensed it out entirely, and the tax profit would decline by 1 lakh rupees. As you can see, there is a difference between the carrying amount and the tax base, and also the accounting profit and tax profit. So these differences as seen in the illustrations are nothing but temporary differences. So to sum it up, temporary differences are the differences between the carrying amount of the asset or liability and its tax base. This concept is the core of the standard on income tax. Now there are two types of temporary differences. One is taxable temporary differences. These are the ones which will be taxed in future. And the other one is deductible temporary difference. These are the ones which will be deducted in the future while computing tax liability. Now taxable temporary differences arises in case of an asset where the carrying amount is greater than tax base, and in case of a liability when the carrying amount is less than tax base. And deductible temporary differences arises when in case of an asset carrying amount is less than tax base, and in case of liability when the carrying amount is greater than tax base. Let us understand this through an illustration. In this illustration, we will take two cases wherein we'll compare the accounting norms and tax norms. In the first case, the depreciation as per accounting norms is 20,000 and as per tax norms is 30,000. And in the second case, depreciation as per accounting norms is 30,000 and as per tax norms it is 20,000. Now based on this, we can determine carrying amount and tax base. The carrying amount would be 80,000 in the first case and tax base would be 70,000. And in the second case, the carrying amount would be 70,000 and tax base would be 80,000. As you can see, the carrying amount of the asset is greater than tax base in the first case. Hence, taxable temporary differences may have arisen. And in the second case, carrying amount is less than tax base. Hence, it is a case of deductible temporary difference. Let us move on to understand as to what is deferred tax. In simple terms, deferred tax is tax on temporary differences. It is the future tax consequence which arises due to recovery of an asset or settlement of liability. Let us now discuss the recognition of deferred tax assets and liabilities in an entity's financials. Deferred tax liabilities are recognized when there are taxable temporary differences. And deferred tax assets are recognized in cases where there are deductible temporary differences, where there is carry forward of unused tax losses, and there is carry forward of unused tax credits. Deferred tax asset is to be recognized when it is probable that sufficient taxable profit will be available in the future periods. Let us now discuss the measurement of deferred tax assets and liabilities. Deferred tax assets or liabilities shall be measured at tax rates that are expected to apply to the period when the asset is realized or the liability is settled, based on the tax rates that have been enacted or will be enacted by the end of the reporting period. Let us now understand the accounting for movement of deferred tax balance. Now, deferred tax is recognized as a tax income or expense in the profit and loss. Exceptions to this are when the tax arises from transactions or events recognized directly in equity or within OCI, or a business combination that is an acquisition. Now I'll show you an illustration which will cover all the concepts discussed so far. This is the situation of assets and liabilities on 1st April 2019. Now the company has decided to revalue the PPE at 2,10,000 at the end of the reporting period. The trade receivables consist of a loss allowance of Rs 5,000. Now fine payable and the loss allowance are not tax deductible. Interest is also taxed on cash basis, and the tax rate used in this illustration is 30%. Now we'll move on to the computation of deferred tax. Here we'll compute the temporary differences, and we'll see whether the temporary differences will give rise to deferred tax asset or liability. And later on we'll compute tax on the temporary differences. 2,10,000, the revalued amount is taken as the carrying amount. And since the carrying amount of the asset is greater than tax base, this would be a deferred tax liability. Now since the loss allowance is not tax deductible, the carrying amount of the asset is now less than the tax base. This will give rise to deferred tax asset. Now since the interest receivable is taxed on cash basis, the tax base would be nil. Thus, the carrying amount of the asset would be greater than the tax base, Hence it is a deferred tax liability. As seen earlier, the fine payable is also not tax deductible. Hence the carrying amount and the tax base would remain the same. Hence there won't be any temporary difference. So there is no deferred tax asset or liability. Now in this case, the carrying amount of the liability is greater than tax base. Thus, this would be a case of deferred tax asset. Now let's move on to the recognition and accounting of deferred tax. Now deferred tax liability recognized is 10,800 and deferred tax asset recognized is 2,100. The difference between them is 8,700, out of which deferred tax computed on the revalued amount will be classified under OCI and the balance would be classified under profit or loss. So this was it. These are the concepts used in the deferred tax accounting. I hope I was able to simplify the deferred tax concept. Hope you liked the video. Please do like, comment and subscribe to my channel to get informative content. Do provide your suggestions, requests and queries in the comment box below. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. I have given my profile link in the description below. Thanks for watching.